Hi friends, today I want to talk about a couple photos that I took recently as well as one that I did not take. Oh, exciting. If you hear crunching carrots in the background, that is because my wife is crunching carrots. If you see her feet, they're not her feet. She doesn't have feet. She has poliosis. Always vaccinate your children. So I want to touch on such ideas today as why libraries are good places to take a photo, as well as why it's a good idea to implement the color red into your photos, as well as a photo of me, which I know we're all excited about. Christina, are you excited about?
Absolutely.
Oops. Okay.
You sure do.
You can feel the enthusiasm in her loins. This photo was taken in the library of my friend Robbie. We went on a photo walk, and I would encourage you to watch the video of said photo walk. It was a fantastic time. Robbie's fun to hang out with. I met him very recently, and hopefully we'll be growing a relationship soon that will get quite intimate. Quite. But I told him to make his way down and go to the left and then walk across the expanse of the rows of books. And I wanted to capture him mid-stride. After a couple of tries, we captured this. Worked out really well. The motion blur in this photo is a very special expression of the way that the iPhone handles low light. It likes to drop the shutter speed before it does anything else to try to compensate for the low light. Sometimes this can be bad. In this case, it worked out really well. In a lot of cases, it tends to work out really well. Very helpful. There's an intense light coming from the window in the back, which I appreciate. And also I appreciate that he has enough light on him that he is not just a silhouette. He has a nice separation to him. Now, libraries in general, I've learned, are an excellent place to take photos. They're often built to be magnificent structures. The more, the bigger the town, the bigger the city in which you go to find your library, normally the more exciting the library will be. My hometown had a library that was built sometime in the Dark Ages, and it wasn't a particularly enjoyable place to be for most times. One time I stuck one of those sticky things to the roof, and that's about the most interesting part about my library. It was a nice building, but anyway, when you go to libraries, a lot of times you'll come across big open expansive spaces and angles and light bouncing in everywhere and in interesting ways. Like I said, the buildings are meant to be aesthetically pleasing, and you can also find people doing interesting things. Reading. They will be reading within the aisles themselves. They'll just be looking at a book meandering. They're focused on that. You can just snap a photo really quick, move on to the next thing. You can capture photos like this if you're patient, very patient. You can capture photos like this of strangers, making their way through the library. This sort of thing. But this has been a new revelation in my photographic life. Now, I think it's a good idea to gather aesthetically pleasing locations in general, places where if you're like me and you like to work people into your photos, stranger people, it's good to find aesthetically pleasing places where people are often congregating and doing interesting things. So pull out your sticky note and your pen, maybe just your hand, and if you don't have a pen, you can just carve it into your hand with your fingernail. Don't let anything hold you back, and why is that not good advice?
It's really bad advice.
You never support me, Christina. Okay. So here's the next photo I want to take a look at. This photo is very red, and it's a vibrant red, and our minds respond strongly to the color red. It helps draw you into the photo, which is about the story of him, but the use of the color red in this photo helps engage the mind and helps you fall into that story, in a sense. This is a very simple but pleasing portrait, and I love the light on his face. I told him to look into the light specifically for this reason, and the light all down the right side of his body. Lots of straight lines in this photo. Nothing is coming in on the edges in a weird way. Nothing's crooked. this sort of thing. His blue pants contrast well against the red in the photo. I had him look away into the light, like I said, and also he popped his hand into his pocket, I think very naturally, if I remember correctly. This was helpful. This was a little thing that was very helpful to the photo. I like the vertical stripes against the horizontal stripes. Christina actually pointed that out. I didn't even notice that detail of the photo. You were saying that you liked how the vertical stripes of his shirt were against the horizontal stripes.
Wasn't that a studio that you shot that in, though?
Yeah, that's my studio downtown.
Oh,
It's $48,000 a week.
subscribe!
So, yeah, please. I'm dying. Where is it? Oh, and the camera also gives him something to do in this case. The camera that he's holding. It's a good idea to integrate these types of objects into the frame of something that people actually do in their real life. If you're taking a photo of somebody, you're meeting up with them to take a photo, it's a good idea to figure out a way to integrate more context of who they are into the photo. Now here is the next photo that I want to take a look at. This one was not taken by me. I am in fact the person down there on the bridge. And don't I look great? This was taken by Robbie. He did a fantastic job. This is a well-executed photo. I appreciate the angles and geometry in this photo, and the library allowed this to come to being in such a special way. It's just eye food. Like, it's so good. I like the windows all around, the windows on the roof, the windows in the background. The whole library is basically made of windows and concrete. It's a really interesting look. Nothing's poking into the frame in a weird way. The edges are managed well, and I think you did a fantastic job with this photo. There's a dramatic depth to the photo as well. And I think this is brought on, for one, because of the dynamic of the shadows and the light in the photo, as well as the leading lines. There are leading lines everywhere. There are all sorts of all sorts of straight lines going down towards the end of the library. There's a lot of repetition in the frame. All of these things are a formula for a very pleasing photo. I also like that the most intense light in this photo is a vertical stripe in the back half where the street is. The windows are looking out to the street all the way in the background. I think the stride worked out really well here. It's funny, when he was taking this photo, I believe I was so far away that the sound was hitting me in a delayed fashion. I may be wrong. Maybe it was the coffee I had that day. But I would hear the shutter snap after I finished walking. I was like, oh crap, he's missing the photo. And I thought he missed it every single time. Then he shows me the photo. I'm like, holy crap, this is amazing. So either his shutter is delayed, or my ears, or the distance was so far that the space-time had warped. I appreciate how I'm almost perfectly centered in this photo as well. And it was a lot of fun to be a part of a good photo. You can find yourself being part of a lot of bad photos, but this one was really well done, and I'm happy to be a part of it. And I hope to get together with Robbie again soon. But that is it for this video. Please feel free to engage if you subscribe or check out my shop. That would make you a neat person. I hope you have a lovely day. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.